I'm back. I feel like it takes so long for me to get started. Like, how many takes I have to go through, get phone calls when nobody ever calls me at this time. It's just like the kids are finally asleep, and I've had 2 phone calls in the midst of me trying to start this video. It's crazy. All right, so let's talk about co-parenting, shall we? And online dating. People ask me all the time about how it's going with the co-parenting, and I would say that it's actually going pretty well. Me and my ex have been rocking it, I would say, with the co-parenting. I'm trying to put my charger together because my phone's dying. That's awesome. But so basically, he and I have basically come up with ways to work together. And when we were living in Tennessee, we were doing a week on, week off. And so that was working actually pretty well. Now, I will be honest with you, it was super, super hard because my youngest daughter, she'll be 3, Ella, but she was like 1, you know what I mean? So she was still a baby. And we were basically doing the week on, week off thing when I moved out. And so I'm not going to lie to you, like I felt really bad about it. Like I was really, what's the word? I didn't want to do that. I didn't really want him to have them. I wanted him to do weekends because I felt like they were so young, they needed to be with their mother. And he didn't feel that way. And so he was like, I'm not a weekend dad, blah, blah, blah. So in the beginning, it was hard because, you know, we came up with like, okay, because some people do the middle of the week thing where they go from like Sunday to the Wednesday. And then, you know, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to mess up the middle of the week like that. So I figured, okay, so we tried the week on, week off thing. And I'm not going to lie, like, it was super hard to be away from them that long. And I don't even know, like, how I got through that first week I didn't have them and I had moved in. I have, like, a video to talk about it. It was hard. It still is hard. I mean, it's, like, been a year, you know, since we've been doing it. No, 2 years. And it's still not easy. It's easier, because the kids, they adjust, you know. I know for the longest time I felt like I was ruining their lives, you know, and I still, at the end of the day, I mean, I probably won't know until they're grown and they go to therapy and they come back and tell me I've ruined their lives for some, you know, I guess there's really no, I think there's really no wrong way, I think, in the end of the day when it comes to when you break up and you guys are separated and how to your kids to adjust and things like that. So I think the best way to do it is for them to feel like you're still a family. And so that's basically what I'm doing, and what we're doing. So yeah, so we're doing the week on, week off thing. Their dad moved to Atlanta, and I'm not gonna lie, like, and please don't tell him that I was appreciative at the end because of it all, because now it is a nice little break to have them, you know, with their dad for a while so that I can kind of regroup, especially when I was working, the way I was working here in the, you know, driving an hour there and back and trying to keep up with it all was super, super hard. So I was just, you know, I am grateful. You know, he did move 10 minutes from my parents, so that was a little too close, but I didn't really see him that often. I thought it was going to be bad because I was like, I don't want to see him all the time, but because I didn't know how I was going to feel. Things were better. It was funny because when I left Chattanooga and moved here, it was like, okay, I don't see him at all, you know, but in Chattanooga, it was still like, I felt like I was always seeing him, you know, when I didn't want to. And I was still seeing places that we'd been. It's still hard, actually, to go to Chattanooga because and that's one of the reasons why I left, because it's like everything reminded me about our life together. And I just couldn't deal with it. can do it. And I know he had a hard time with me moving, and it was like an issue, but it's too much, you know, because everywhere you go is a memory, you know, and it's just like, I just wanted to start making new memories, you know, and just starting over, you know, somewhere else. So, and I didn't want to take them from him, but I didn't want to have to move them from him, but that was like just the best thing I could do. So, even though he's here, there's no memories other than like when we would go to a restaurant or so out here, you know, so that's not like a big deal. But like I was saying, like co-parenting, we get along better now than we did when we were married. We have to make decisions for the best of the kids, you know, so for the betterment of the kids, I would say. And that's been our driving force. That's really the only way that we've gotten to this point of being somewhat cohesive, is for what's best for kids. Put your pride aside, put your ego aside, put whatever we had going on with each other aside. And it's still hard sometimes when there's like little disagreements, because it's like you want to go back into that mode of how it used to be when you guys got into it, but it's like we're not married, so we don't have to argue anymore. Why are we arguing? What were we arguing about again? So it's just like it's better because it's like there's no grudges. Like, you know how like when you go into you're in an argument with an ex, or when you're in an argument with your significant other, and it's like you're mad all day because you get to these little tiffs and everything. Like, the best thing about being divorced is like, I don't have to be mad. Why am I mad? We're not together. Like, so, you know what I mean? Did I make him mad? So, you know what I mean? It's like, that's the best thing about it. It's like, you don't have to care because you don't have to make up later and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I would say that we actually, when we do get into little things, it's not like big things. It's usually on text, like, but it's usually like I come back and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have, you know, whatever. Or he might say, you know, we probably shouldn't have, you know, went there or whatever. But it's just better because then we laugh about it. And so that's actually a good thing. And so I said all to say, to take the parenting level to the next level. So we decided to do like family night. I don't know. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, so I don't have any furniture for my porch. I don't really have any furniture. If you see my room, like, you see I don't have any dressers. I don't even have any curtains at this point because that was supposed to happen now. But we were in quarantine, so it's like, you know. And I was going to get a grill. I was going to do all that because, you know, it's getting, you know, it's warm and things like that. So it's awesome time to be outside. Well, he has a small grill, and he was like, well, I know we got steaks, you know, because he does the shopping on the weekends. I don't even know if I talked about this yet, but what we do is we have a part of the co-parenting thing is during this quarantine time, like, I don't see anybody else. The only person I've seen since we were told, you know, school wasn't going to be in session anymore, and I just basically been quarantining. So he's the only one I see really now, and I saw my parents like some weeks ago before they left for Alabama. So that's pretty much it. And so how we do the store thing is, like, I don't go to the store during the week when I have the girls at all. And on Sundays, because we go Sunday to Sunday at 5, we exchange with the girls. So now, since all this has happened, like, I'll give him my list of things I need from the grocery store and stuff, and then he'll go into the store while I watch the kids, and he gets his stuff too. So Sundays are our swap-a-roo day, and it's also the time we get our food and stuff like that. Now, when I don't have the kids, I might go to Dollar Tree or Dollar General, you know, to get like soda or, you know, just something like that. But not when I have the girls. I don't ever take them into the store. So that's basically to limit the access, our contact with other people, outside people, while we have, you know, since we have the kids, to keep them safe. And then even like with dating and things like that, I mean, I don't have that problem, but I know like he was seeing some people, And like, and this one particular person was trying to see him, and I'm like, and so thank God he's got a brain. And he was like, no, especially because she had traveled and she was trying to come over like the week that he didn't have the girls, but he was like, no, I'm quarantining, which means I don't see anybody, especially I don't know where you've been or who you've been in contact with, and I don't need to put my kids at risk, saying it's like, it's bigger than, me seeing you and vice versa. So I thought it was a good move on his part, because that would have been an issue. Because I don't like at this point, like he's been dating, I've been dating, and we are on the same page. As long as if it gets serious enough with somebody, we're definitely going to introduce the other person. But if it's just like here and there type of people, I don't need to know who they are. I don't care to know them. But that's just me being petty. But yeah, I just appreciated his ability to to be a grown up in that regard, and put his personal needs aside, and think about the girl. So I thought that was a good move on his part. So so going back to the family night thing. So the family night thing is this: we are going to like once a week or so, we'll get together with the girls, either at my place or his place. And so we got steaks to grill this week. So on Wednesday, he came over this week with the grill. And I think the part that is weird about being divorced and hanging out is like, you don't know how to behave and how to act and what the protocols are really. It's like you're always kind of awkward. It's just awkward. It's awkward dance, things aren't the same, and you just gotta figure out how to your new normal. How do you behave with each other now that you're not together? Do you hug? Do you shake? Do you fist bump or whatever? Do the elbow? It's just kind of weird still, because even like our hugs are kind of weird, but a side note on that, when he left, like he gave me a hug, and it was like, he's more touchy-feely than I am by far. I'm not touchy-feely at all. I just can't do that's not my love language, but that is his. And he didn't know that until after we were married, because I was just trying to, I wanted to be with him. And so, like how you'll put up with things, or you might do things you might normally not necessarily do because you like a person, you want them to like you. Being really close all the time with him was something that I did, and that was wrong on my part to kind of pull back later while we were married. That wasn't fair, and I think one of the things I'm going to make sure to do is be authentic in the beginning stages, be my real self, so that there's no question of who I am even after I'm married, if I get married again, but that the person knows this is how I am. These are my quirky things, and they can either accept it or not. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to feel like I have to impress a person just for the sake of being with them, So, because that can hinder things too. So, but I think with all the quarantining and things, social distancing, it's really making me start to understand like the importance of physical touch, I mean, we experienced a loss in our family, not due to COVID, but my great aunt, she was just elderly and she was sick for a little while. She passed away last week, and we had the funeral, and no, it was this week, and it was virtual, and it's just, again, that new normal thing I was talking about. Like, that is just the weirdest thing. It's just like we couldn't fly up to Boston to say goodbye and stuff. We had to be on Zoom, and so you want to hug your family members, you want to be consoled and things like that, and you got to do it alone, so that's hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so when we hugged each other, I was like, wow, it's a powerful thing, and I don't think I realized how powerful it was and how much I needed it until it happened. You know what I mean? And then you realize, dang, it's really important, So it's just little things that I'm learning. With, that I was like, I didn't really think I cared until then. So yeah, so we had a good time. The kids were really excited to see him, and they're always super stoked when we're together. Like, they are hyper. And they don't want him to leave, of course. And, but we got to put them to bed and things like that. And so I thought that was really cool because it's like I said about, it's being weird and things like that. It wasn't so bad because we have a friendship, and that was something that was so important to me when we got married and before we got married and stuff. I just wanted to have a foundation of friendship, and then whoever I'm with in the future, I have to have that because, just say something happens where you can get in an accident, you're not able to be intimate and things like that, there's got to be some kind of foundation there. Like, it's got to be something. And friendship is so important to me, and on all sides. And so it's like, so that's pretty much when we back to. We talked, we laughed, we listened to music and stuff, while we were grilling and whatnot. And it was just really cool because it was just like old times. You know what I mean? It was like old times, but not really old times. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And after a while, it didn't feel awkward. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, just a minute, you had a good time, blah, 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 And I hate to admit it because it was true. You know what I mean? I missed those times. I think it was like, it kind of made me sad because it's like, those were the times that you missed. I can't talk. Let me go back. Those are the times I miss, when we would grill for no reason, hang out on the porch, laugh, have a couple of drinks and stuff, and just talk and laugh and things. Yeah, those are the things that I did miss about us. And so it was cool to kind of have that moment, and then the kids were around and stuff. And so, but it didn't make me feel like we should get back together. So please don't let that fool you. That little nostalgic moment. No, it's not. That is not me thinking like, maybe we should get back together. No, it's not that. I think it's just when you're familiar with somebody, it's been 12 years, you're with somebody, and that's just your life. To have it not be there anymore, that's hard. And so to have that time where you can have that again, that'll be cool. That's cool. It was cool. I just hate to admit it. And I think we're going to try to do that like once a week, maybe like do a family night because, the girls really appreciated it. And then they were asking, where's daddy? When they woke up. And I was that made me sad, stuff like that. That gets me a little bit. So it's like I said, it's still an adjustment, the whole thing. We were separated a year before we got divorced, and then for almost a year before we got divorced, and then it'll be like a year since we'll be divorced. Try it again. We got divorced in July of 2019, so this year will be a full year. We were actually legally divorced, but we separated before then, so it's been 2 years that we've been apart, so it's different, life is just different, and it's okay. And whatever it takes to make the girls feel normal again and to feel like they are part of a family until we start dating significant others, and then we can still do family night. I would actually appreciate that, hanging out with his new person and my new person. Like, don't get it twisted. I gotta have somebody before I start hanging out with him and his somebody. Like, that's just gotta happen. Like, we ain't doing this no third wheel kind of nonsense. But but when that day does come, I would love to do that with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that'd be cool. I'm not ready. I haven't progressed that much. You know what I'm saying? So, so going to like talk about online dating. So just a little bit about that. Just the online dating thing. And so my parents thought it was a joke, just to go back to say, my dad called me the next day after, the family night. My dad was like, so your mom told me that you were on a date with your ex. And I was like, really, Dad? a date wasn't really. So it was funny. Like, they are so silly, but it was not a date. Let's get that straight. But it was fun though. But just along those lines of dating, so the online dating thing, it's just okay. So I get a lot of messages that come in from this site, and that gets overwhelming because it's like opening them up. So I look at people's profile, and I don't just look at their pictures. Like, I look at what they say in their profile thing. And, some people, they have really nice things, and then some people don't have a lot written, and that always makes me, wonder about them. You can take a little time to put some stuff down. And it's I don't know, I was cool up until today. I messaged somebody back, yesterday. I'm terrible at messaging back too, because once I'm not interested, I'm there's no point in. My friend Kayla told me this. She said, this is your point in time to go ahead and get out what you don't like. You don't have to tell the person, but just go ahead and just eliminate those things now, so that you don't have to meet somebody and then find out later that this is what I don't like. If you see things you don't like now in the beginning, you don't have to even engage them. And I was like, I like that idea. That's true. Okay, so that's a plus. And so I was like, yeah, because you have to deal with all that, how to block them later. So yeah, so I go through the messages and stuff, and if somebody's profile intrigues me, I might write them back. And I think I wrote back one person since then. But then here he go. So his question was, "You're really beautiful. Why are you single?" So I was like, that's one of the things. That should be one of the rules. I think that is a rule. That's just a rule. It doesn't even have to be online. That's just a rule of thumb. Don't ask a woman that. Don't ask her age, for one. You know what I'm saying? Or how much she weighs. That's just crazy. But number 3, never ask a woman who's single why she's single. Because it makes you seem like, well, what's wrong with you? Because that's pretty much what he's asking. You know what I'm saying? I see you. You seem to have your life together. You seem to have things together. You're pretty, whoop-de-woo. But really, what's going on? He might think that I'm crazy. And then now that I'm divorced, you have that on there, divorced. I feel like people, because I get this question too, because I've talked to a couple people since the online thing, and even before online, when I would meet guys and go out, or we just talk, not even go out. I haven't even been on a real date, really. I haven't been on a real date. I think I've been on one real date, and that was somebody I started talking to, right after me and my ex got separated and stuff, and that wasn't a good idea. It's the rebound thing. We went out on a date or two, a couple times. So that was cool, and I had to learn a bunch. But that was awkward. But it's been 2 years, just about. So, yeah, so going back to that whole thing about you're divorced, so they didn't ask me I feel like people want to ask you, what did you do? You know what I'm saying? Because one guy was like, well, let me get this. Well, he said, let me guess, he cheated. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, do you really think that I would spend so much money and time and effort, split up my whole family because he was cheating? No. Because I even told my ex, that's not a deal breaker to me. If he were to cheat, and I don't think he did, but if he were to cheat, one, I don't want to know. That's just me. And then 2, it would have been if he was in a relationship with that person, I'm in love with her, that's something to leave somebody for. But just because they had indiscretion or things happen, yeah, it would suck. Yeah, the trust would be, would hardly be there. You have to work through some things, but that's not something to break up a marriage. For me, personally, I just wouldn't do it. Not with 2 little kids. No. You know what I'm saying? So, that wasn't it. You know what I mean? So, and I just feel like I don't like explaining to people why, and especially strangers, because it's not their business why. And I think that when they see divorce on there, they assume that either 1, maybe dude cheated, or 2, she's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like she's something's got to be wrong with you if you're single. And like that bugs me. And that question bugged me. And I tried not to be typical me and clap back. So, well, I kind of did. Well, what happened was he said, when he asked that, I said, well, I'm actually still going through some healing right now. Thank you very much, buddy. Why are you single though? You know what I mean? Because it's like, because, you know, it's like guys just assume, well, I just haven't found the right one. Well, maybe I haven't found the right one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just no real reason why people are single. Like, I don't think people choose to be single. Like, there's no, like, reasoning behind it. It could be so many different things. I just think it's, like, a bogus question to ask somebody. Like, I just do. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I might be wrong. You could tell me, hey, you were overreacting on that one. I don't even know. But it rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe I still have some healing and processing to do, you know, with all of this. But it just, yeah, it got me. That question got me. And so like now, it's going to be hard for him to come back from that one. So, oh no. Maybe I'm just too tough on this whole, you know, with the dating thing and whatnot. And so, but I don't want to talk too long, but it just, I don't know, like this thing, y'all pray for me, really. I need prayer because it's just too much. But I'm going to try to be positive and I'm going to try to be hopeful so that, you know, the good things will come to me and, you know, people don't ask me dumb questions anymore. At least not the first question you ask somebody. So I'm gonna leave it there because it's getting crazy right now. And it's, yeah. So I'm sure I'll have more crazy, engaging stories to tell you later once I start, you know, going more into it and taking it more seriously. And, but I just had to get that out of my system and now it's out. So, yeah. So, till next time, peace.